on now. Yeah.
Welcome back to my channel. Hit that like, subscribe button, and feel free to leave a comment. So, let me take a moment to talk about something real, something painful, something powerful, and something we all need to sit with for a while.
Let's get to that breaking news right now. It's at a Citrus Heights. Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies have been on the scene of a shooting that happened at an apartment complex.
It's located on Birdcage Street. It's near the Sunrise Mall. This is
On May 23rd, 2022, the lives of two families changed forever. And for one of them, the Lopez family, it would be a change that left behind a hole too big to fill. That was the day Jacob Lopez, also known as Lul Tys, was shot and killed at just 20 years old. Now, this wasn't just a headline. This was a young man, a father, a fiance, a son, a dreamer, someone who had goals, who had just signed a six-figure record deal with Empire, someone who was doing what many young men only talk about doing. He was putting his story into music. He was becoming a voice. He was grinding hard, pushing through the storms that life threw at him, and trying to make it out, trying to make it better for himself and for his babies. At the time of his death, his 2-year-old son and his 4-month-old baby were home. They were there when the bullets rang out. Think about that. Children, babies, innocent and brand new to this world, witnessing violence that even grown adults can't fully process. His father, Nathan Lopez, says something that stuck with me. He said, as fathers, we consider ourselves protectors. Whether we had anything to do directly with the death or not, we still feel we should have been there to take that bullet. And we would take it 1,000,000 times. And I feel that any father seeing this video right now feels the same way. To be honest, if something like that would ever happen to my son, the person better pray the Lord finds him first, because I ain't gonna lie, I'll go straight cartel mode, and it would be slow and painful. You know what I mean? If I found, you know what I mean? Man, I'm talking about chainsaw and all. So that kind of grief, that kind of weight, it doesn't go away. You carry it, and it follows you into every sunrise and every dream at night. You see, Jacob was known in the streets, and on the screen, his music hit millions. Straight bars alone had over 6 million views at the time. Now it's nearly 10 million views.
It's TYS and this bitch, we brought them packs in. My niggas really steppers, got 40s that blow your back in. I'm back in for niggas who cost me and leave them past tense. I see.
The world was watching. Northern California was proud. And yet, despite the fame, despite the deal, despite the music, violence still found him. And today, he doesn't get to see or reap his fruit of labor, with over 75 million streams, being the first norteño rapper to hit gold and on his way to platinum, if you guys stream his music. So let's talk about that part. The streets, the colors, the choices, the associations. I'm not here to glorify anything, but I'm also not here to judge, because we all know that when you grow up in a certain environments, survival means adapting. It means playing a part to avoid being a target. But even when you're rising up, when you're trying to leave it behind, the streets don't always let you go that easy. Police said the shooting wasn't random, that the men involved likely knew each other. But Jacob's father said otherwise. And to this day, no murder charges have been filed. The only sentence that came out of this tragedy, 180 days in jail for possession of a machine gun. That's it. No closure, no accountability, no justice for Jacob's kids, for his fiance, for his family, or for his fans. And so the question becomes, how did we get here? How did a young man with talent, with opportunity, with love in his life end up in a casket before he turned 21? And how do we keep it from happening to the next young man chasing a dream? Jacob wasn't perfect. None of us are. But he was real. He was trying. and he mattered. Now, I want to flip the page a little bit because while pain brings us together, it's purpose that keeps us moving. Let's talk about what now? What do we do with this? How do we respond? Not just as individuals, but as communities, as fathers, as mentors, as people who care. First, we love louder. That means checking in. That means asking our sons how they're really feeling. That means listening to our daughters when they talk about what scares them. That means showing up, not just when there's a crisis, but every single day. Second, we guide with presence. You don't have to have all the answers to be a mentor. You just have to show up, play catch, sit, talk to them, drive them to school, buy that ice cream cone, show them what love looks like, what strength sounds like, what manhood feels like when it's built on love and not fear. Third, we stop waiting on the system to save our kids. Look, the justice system didn't bring Jacob Lopez back. It didn't even try. And for many of our communities, it never has. So what do? We build our own systems. We create safe spaces. We teach music, boxing, art, coding, construction, entrepreneurship, whatever it takes to open a new door. Fourth, we remind them they're valuable. Let me tell you something. There was power in telling someone, I believe in you. Jacob said he wanted to be the next Eminem. That's how wild his dreams were. That's how real his passion was. You think that kind of dream happens in silence? No, somebody at some point told him he could do it. And somebody else picked up a camera and another person booked a studio session. That's community. That's legacy. And finally, we healed together because grief is not a solo mission. Nathan Lopez, Jacob's father, didn't go on national TV just to cry. He went to say, you are not alone. Every father who's lost a son, every mother who buried her baby too soon, every kid out here afraid they won't see 21, they need to know we're standing with them, that we're done losing talent to violence, that we're done celebrating people only after they die. Jacob's story is not just a tragedy, it's a call to action. If you hear his music, listen to his pain. If you see his videos, look past the image and find the boy with a dream. And if you care, then do something. Mentor, support, speak up. Now, let's turn this pain into power. Let's take these tears and turn them into action. Let's build something so that the next Lul Tys gets to live, gets to thrive, gets to walk across the stage with his kids cheering from the crowd. Because that's how we honor Jacob Lopez. That's how we remember him. Not just with views, not just with RIP posts, but with change. And if you hear me today, if you feel this, then what you waiting for? Speak up. Show your children that you love them. It's a tragedy. You know what I mean? The first Norteño rapper to make it gold, and he don't get to see it. So now let me shift this a little bit. All right. We're going to talk about the smart ones who got out. So let's take a break from the heavy stuff and just talk about some of the smartest rappers alive. Like the ones who looked at the streets and said, yeah, I'm good. I'm trying to live. These are the same dudes who figured out how to turn bars into bread and bullets into brands. Let's start with the OG Master P. Now look, Master P went from selling CDs out the trunk to building an empire. The man had his whole family on reality TV. Master P's family empire. And if you're going to film your whole family, you either got love or lawsuits. His kids all had a brand. Romeo was on Nickelodeon. Bro, Nickelodeon, from No Limit Soldiers to Nick Jr., that's what I call a rebrand. Then you got Snoop DOOG. Bro, Snoop Smoked so much he turned the kitchen show into a vibe. Snoop and Martha Stewart. Now, tell me what part of hood combo that is. One second he's crip walking, next second he's baking lavender lemon cookies with Martha. That's the definition of I made it. The man went from death row to cooking with felons, and I ain't talking gangbangers. I'm talking Martha Stewart insider trading. And then there's Ice Cube. Man went from F the police to are we there yet? You know how funny that is? From NWA to minivans with booster seats? You know what that is? Growth. That's called insurance premiums and baby wipes. That's what that is. LL Cool J been hosting lip sync battle so long I forgot he used to crush Mike. Now he crushes ratings and wears more lotion than your mama's nightstand. 2 Chainz did a whole show called Most Expensivest Eating. $400 chicken wings covered in gold. Meanwhile, I'm over here putting 3-day-old wings in the air fryer, hoping to survive one more meal. Now that man said, I ain't dying in no hood. I'm dying full and bougie. But now, let's switch gears. Because not everybody got that chance. Not everybody made it to the sitcoms and season finales. And that's where it hits different. Takeoff, quiet dude, laid back. He wasn't even in the argument when he got shot. That's the part that stings. He wasn't even talking. He was just chilling and gone just like that. Nipsey Hussle, come on, bro. That one still hurts. He was doing it right. Bought up the whole block, gave back, top crypto and ownership, and he got gunned down outside his own store. Man, the hood be the hardest place to make it out of and even harder to give back to. Pop Smoke, young kid, barely 20. You could feel his energy through the speakers. He wasn't done yet. That man had Dior on repeat, and yet gone in a home invasion. PNB Rock, King Von, Draco, The Ruler, MO3, all talent, all potential, all taken too early. All of them had just started, turned the corner. Money was coming in. Labels were paying attention. The kids were watching, and still the streets came knocking. And listen, I'm not just talking about rap. I'm talking about culture. I'm talking about young kings with influence. These dudes had fans, followers, purpose, families. Some had kids. Most had dreams. But in the end, they got headlines, hashtags, and heartbreak. Meanwhile, Martha Stewart's out here throwing parties with Snoop and not a single bullet flies. That should tell you something. The goal ain't to survive rap. The goal is to survive long enough to rap about survival. It's cool to throw up your set. Sure, but it's way cooler to throw up a business plan, throw up a billboard, throw up your feet in the Bahamas while your investments cook for you. Let's be real. The smartest gangster move in 2025 is retirement. Early, buy land, not beef. Buy stocks, not ops. Buy your mama a house, not a casket. So for the ones who got out, salute. For the ones who stayed stuck, we remember. And for the ones coming up now, make a choice. Because the streets don't love you. But your purpose, your kids, your peace, that's worth living for. Hit that like, subscribe button.